motherfucker. Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
Welcome to TheMandatory. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, follow us on our social media channels. We're at TheMandatory TKO. We're also on the audio side. We always do a special a little bit for them on the audio side. So if you ever want to listen to that, please do, but also leave a rate and review. Lots of fights to get into this weekend. We're going to start off with the fights that come out first. Fight Day Top Rank. I love this card. I believe it's absolutely stacked. Ryan, let's start off, though, with the main event. There's two fights on this card. I feel like the co-feature could also be the main event because it's for undisputed. We will get into that, but let's start off with Oscar Valdez, who's a minus 370 versus Liam Wilson, who is a plus 280 straight up on the money line. Bryan, how are you betting this one?
This is an interesting fight. I don't think it should be the main event. I think the co-feature should actually be the main event. And apparently, there's a decent amount of people who think this, and I don't think it has anything to do, at least in most cases, with just people just want to see girls in the main event. It's like, no, these women are the best in the world in their weight class. They're fighting for undisputed. That should be the main event. Nonetheless, you have Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson, two guys with multiple losses within their last several fights. Valdez is actually 1-2 in his last three. He lost to world class champions, Manuel Navarrete and Shakur Stevenson. We're not going to hold that against him. Oscar Valdez, a former champion in his own right, multiple weight classes. I think this fight is, to me, it's the co-feature, but nonetheless, I think Oscar Valdez is going to win this fight against Liam Wilson. Like, I did not hesitate once this line came out, once Oscar Valdez and Liam Wilson got announced, and with respect to Liam Wilson, because he did drop Emmanuel Navarrete not too long ago, I just think that was kind of the typical Emmanuel Navarrete sloppy performance. And he got dropped in round 4, sort of picked it back up, finished him in round 9. And I don't want to take anything away from Liam Wilson, but I don't think because he dropped Emmanuel Navarrete, he's all of a sudden better than Oscar Valdez, who did not have as much success against Navarrete. I just think Navarrete had a better performance and was able to put it all together against Oscar Valdez for whatever reason, because we see him in the fight after against Robson Conceição, and that was a draw where Emmanuel Navarrete, he's just very up and down, very up and down. He's one of these guys that he would shoot 40% from three one night and 0% from three the next because he's just super streaky. But Oscar Valdez by knockout, technical knockout is where I'm going. I found that at plus 150, one prominent book. I think it's plus 180 at one prominent book, plus 260 at another as of a couple days ago. So yeah, you can get that number. It's pretty juiced up. I was actually surprised to see that Liam Wilson was projected to lose by decision because Oscar Valdez still has power. He hasn't gotten a knockout in his last 4 fights, but Liam Wilson, both times he lost, he got stopped. And I think Oscar Valdez will come out aggressively, needs a knockout, has a height and reach disadvantage. So he's going to be trying to close the gap, fight on the inside, and pound Liam Wilson to the body. I think he gets a stoppage at plus 260. It's the best I found it at one book.
Yeah, when I took a look at the line for this, right away I saw Oscar Valdez, Liam Wilson, and I think people are putting way too much hype on the fact that Liam Wilson was able to drop Emmanuel Navarrete in the 4th round. Who cares? It happens. We know the way Navarrete fights. It is not the traditional, hey, I'm going to fight with some defense. He fights the real Mexican way, which means there's no fear. He likes to come forward and he might get popped a lot. And like we've said for Navarrete, this is not about him, but someone's going to stop him at one point. That's what people think because of the way that he fights. Now, Liam Wilson got lucky in that fight, but nonetheless, he gave him a tough fight. Oscar Valdez, I think this is a very interesting fight for him because he's 33 years old and he hasn't had a knockout in a while. Keep in mind that, as Bryan mentioned, he lost against Shakur Stevenson. He lost against Emmanuel Navarrete, a fight where I thought Valdez would beat Navarrete, but Navarrete proved me wrong, and that one fought really well. But this is a fight for Oscar Valdez. Power is always the last thing to go. That's what they say. I think this is a fight where Oscar Valdez needs really badly because he wants to get another title shot. He wants to be fighting for titles and having those big fights because he's 33 years old. I would still say that he's still in his prime. And I think he needs the knockout in this one. And I think he's going to get it against a guy like Liam Wilson. Liam Wilson is going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be easy. Of course, there is the height advantage in this one as well. But Oscar Valdez, the one thing that he does really well is that he knows how to bang on the inside. Right. And Liam Wilson is going to take those power shots. And I think Oscar Valdez is going to get the knockout TKO victory in this one. I saw it for plus 220 on FanDuel. And those are odds that I looked at them. I was like, I'm taking that. There's no way I was not going to bet on Oscar Valdez not getting the knockout TKO because I feel like there's just a little bit too much hype on Liam Wilson. So he dropped Emmanuel Navarrete in the 4th round. It doesn't mean that he's a better boxer than Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is better in every aspect against Liam Wilson. He's better in speed. He's better in power. He's got better footwork. They both get hit. I do feel like Oscar Valdez can be a little bit irresponsible defensively at times, but that's just the way that he fights. And we know that he can bang. So I think this one is going to be an absolute banger. But nonetheless, here at the Mandatory, we want to know how you're going to be betting this fight. Are you rolling with Liam Wilson? Are we not putting too much respect on his name? Or are you rolling with us with the Oscar Valdez knockout or TKO? Drop your comments below. Also follow us on our social media channels. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button.